Yeah. Instead of retaining its worth
Right.
from being a movement
Stop.
to stay aware.
Stop.
Gotcha.
Mikey,
What?
go live and we'll.
I'm already
we already
live. We're already live.
Let's fucking give us a nod, mate. Jesus.
I fucking said
It
the
did.
words, I'm going to go live. And you said,
Yeah.
why didn't you tell me we went live?
Say we're live. We're live.
He also waved as if to say, "Hi, people."
Mikey,
But just quickly building on what Ease was saying, then, if you equate it to what the political right in America are generally doing with the term progressive, trying to associate it with communism to scare their own base into rejecting progressivism.
That's fear tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Like staying woke is something that motherfuckers have been doing since the 70s.
Yeah.
Like if they like Ease, you from one of the boroughs, so you know if motherfuckers like what's today's mathematics, you know what's the math today, like you know what that means, but to them that is complete utter nonsense.
Right. It's all you buying.
Exactly. So it's our own way of speaking, which is different than the nomenclature of the everyday person.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
going back to what I was saying about earlier about the religious aspect of like Trumpism. So someone says you're a progressive, which means you want to progress. That's a positive thing, but it's been turned into a dirty thing because you're a progressive, aren't you?
But that's no. I think the semantics are coming from your side, Wayne, because everything is not so literal here, and everything, even if it has a name that has another word in it, it doesn't mean that that's what that means. It means that that's just the name for it.
I'm looking at it as a literal thing. I'm looking at it as a literal.
It's also worth pointing out that their left is equivalent to our Tories. Still to the right of what we would consider
really
on our political, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, even the Tories accept, generally speaking, that bodily autonomy is important, especially with things like abortion and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Although they are more stringent on when it should be applicable. For example, the Tories are pushing to keep the 21-week hard line unless there's serious risk to the mother's health.
So our Tories are more woke than their.
You're mixing shit up together. Don't mix the two. You're mixing terms that don't go together.
No, I'm just trying to get an understanding, like. You know?
Woke
y'all
is,
are not more woke. Woke is something different. Woke is black people being aware of how American culture affects them.
Mm-hmm.
That's different to over.
I'd like to just put a caveat on that. It's not restricted to America. In the UK, wokeism is closer to accepting there is problems within society that disadvantage some people, predominantly black people, gay people, women, etc. In America, it's much more defined.
Right, because we made it, and then y'all have your own version, and that's fine.
Yeah, we finally stole something from you. So
yeah, what the fuck?
We give you a full language, you give us one word.
Fucking swagger jacking like a motherfucker. Y'all all over our shit.
But the thing is, we got one word. We gave them multiple definitions.
But that's the thing, though, Wayne. I think that's 9 times out of 10. That's why me and you get into arguments about shit. It's because there's so many definitions for so many things, and us not agreeing on which definition we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's 90% of me and you. We argue over definitions, but we never agree that. Yeah, exactly. But we never say my definition is this, my definition is that.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, like, you sit there and argue with me about a certain subject matter, and I'll be like, no, it's because of this. And that's because my definition is confined within a boundary that is not part of your boundary. And when we do have arguments, we end up just going, yeah, it's the same.
But that's after 3 hours of screaming at each other.
I'm sitting there, I'm half cut. I've drunk 3 bottles of wine. And Mikey's going, Wayne, you're wrong. I'm like, oh, fuck you, Mikey. I'm going to bollocks you.
And then we just like live Google. Oh, so 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah. And Mikey's like,
oh, fair enough.
Only in best hand.
Screen grab, Wayne fell asleep online at this point.
Could have done so. Could have made that a GIF every time that somebody gives us a super chat that we're gonna get like a little GIF of Wayne sleeping on there.
It's not the first time, and it will not be the last. And it definitely won't be the last time Jartan will do it either.
Yeah, it happens. We rock out. We go. It takes a lot of energy to do this. It may not seem that way on the outside, but it takes a lot of energy to argue and speak loudly to these fucking idiots that I fucking hang out with all the time.
Wow.
Talking of idiots, I actually wanted to ask Jartan something. As he seems to be the resident
Can you clip that? Speaking of idiots, says something.
I'll tell him, or I'll answer as he would.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Well, you actually might be able to answer me yourself. I've bought some picks, and apparently they come in different weights. What the fuck's the difference?
Wait, what?
Say again?
Yeah, I bought some picks, and apparently they come in different weights, and I don't know what the difference of them is or anything.
They're done in colours. What colour have you bought?
Oh, it came as a range of different colours.
But yeah,
So
all of those colours will be different weights.
yeah, and I don't know what the difference in it is. So there's a lot of blue, grey.
See, I'm all about a Jim Dunlop yellow. That's all I ever use.
Dunlop yellow, like the
Yeah.
tires.
No, Dunlop
No, that's the
yellow.
white walls you're thinking of.
Y'all got yellow. No, Dunlop is a tire company. Y'all got yellow tires over there.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It is. Oh,
Wow, yo, that's crazy.
you fucking Americans!
Yo, that's wow. Yo, I didn't know that across the pond y'all got yellow tires. That's really interesting.
Why don't you get your spittoon out?
Don't you Wild West me, you son of a bitch.
Oh, blazing saddles, Mikey.
All right, I'm gonna put this in now because you are some uneducated fucking piece of shit.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, fuck you.
I love you, man. Ease.
Sir.
Go.
You hear me?
Right there,
Yellow.
Jim Dunlop yellows.
So that's a weird shaped tire. Triangular tires.
Especially at 0.73 millimeters. Bloody hell.
What the fuck is it made out of? Diamonds? Not even diamonds could withstand that.
Jim Dunlop yellows are the best pick. Going.
No.
I've got to disagree with that.
Orange.
I believe no, Stanley picks are best. They'll break through that dirt and sod in no time.
You guys all are familiar with the band System of a Down, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know those big, giant, ridiculous triangle picks that exist. That's what Darren plays on.
That's what you want.
No, not the yellow ones. You need the orange ones so you can strum. You can't strum with those yellow ones. You break all your fucking strings.
Oh, you don't. Look at that.
Yeah, I have a whole fucking my Pokemon mug is full of guitar picks.
It's not Pikachu.
It's full of mugs or full of mugs. It's full of picks and batteries.
No, that's the best one.
It'll get the job done.
Well, if you're trying to play blues, then yes. If you're trying to do like blues music or maybe some like heavily like percussive metal tracks, yeah, definitely use that guy.
Grunge.
Yeah,
Definitely grunge.
That's the grunge pick.
If you want to play Kim as you are.
Me and David. I'll send David a link after I kill this monster. We were looking at guitars. Wayne, since you have a laptop and I'm playing a video game right now as part of the stream. Thanks everybody for watching. We have 7 people watching right now. Thanks guys.
Nice.
I'm gonna get these monsters out of this fucking area because they're bad.
Sure.
I noticed the comments that set up for us.
Stephen Carpenter, Stephen Carpenter.
Oh, Stefan.
Yeah, he spells it all weird. Stephen Carpenter, LTD Telecaster. And tell me what you think about this motherfucker. It comes in a 7-string, and it's a baritone.
Stefan Carpenter 9-string.
9? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here.
Science has gone too far.
All right, hang on. Let me I'll go to share screen.
Yeah, I'm ready to show you. Oh, I just got hit smacked. Ah, monster.
What game is this?
This is Monster Hunter World.
World.
A good buddy of mine, Dapper Dino, who does tons of evolution debates with people, and he has one of the most, like, I've never felt more stupid than watching a Dapper Dino stream, because god damn does this motherfucker know his paleontology and his classifications of animals. So I did a stream when I was just doing my own thing. I played this game and I wanted him to classify these monsters as he would dinosaurs.
Is it coming up?
Oh, there it is. Okay. Add to
That's
stream.
Jabba the
Hutt. Maybe type in green. Add green to that. Because I'm telling you, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. No, not that one. Go back to the other one. Black Dunlop Jazz 3s. Jesus, Q. You were playing with fucking bricks, man.
Ooh.
Those things are fun. I have like 2 of them. And I've had them for like 10 years because I can't even wear them out. It's like literal just big hunks of fucking plastic.
Look at that thing.
Holy no way.
Oh my goodness.
That is an instrument.
But how can you play 9 strings with 4 fingers?
You're gonna have to use your thumb and then like 3 fingers from the other hand. No
and
strumming involved.
And then get like a little weight from the garden. That is ridiculous.
Do go back. Oh, that's a Schecter anyway. I love Schecters, but I'm starting to learn from all of my actually good players that Schecters are absolute garbage.
All right.
Do the Stephen Carpenter green. Stephen Carpenter green. That's all you got to put in.
Yeah, all right. Calm down.
You also put in 9 string when it were only meant to be 7.
No, it offered me 9, and I was like, "Oh, I'll have that."
I wasn't looking for the 9. There it is. Tell me that's not the most beautiful thing you ever fucking saw in your whole life.
It looks like a waltzer.
A Walter?
It looks like a St. Paddy's Day reject.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the best screen, in my opinion, and it is proper.
I dig that.
That is nice. I don't care who you are. That right there is nice.
No, I'm not a fan.
I will get one of those eventually.
No.
And eventually.
Look at the proximity of the pickups. That's bullshit.
Well, it depends on.
That needs to be there.
Okay.
That needs to be there.
Why do you need a neck pickup if you're playing harder music? That's very percussive. You would want it to be in the bridge position or the center position. No.
But then why have one?
Well, then you can pick up some of the other shit with that. God damn it. With that center pick or center pickup. But you don't need one at the bridge if you're playing heavier music. It's not necessary. That's not where your sound comes from. You're not trying to bend and be bluesy with it. You know what I mean?
That's what you want. That's what you want. If you want to do that, you want that. That's the setup you want.
Can you full screen that? I can barely see it.
No.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, let's try that.
I'm like the John 5 Telecaster and the Gem Root Telecaster that only had the bridge pickup, and it was a fucking some sort of wailing ass fucking humbucker. That's my shit. I'm with it.
If you're gonna do that, why not just have a triple like this?
No, because you don't need the. That's what I'm saying, Wayne. Like having that amazing neck pickup doesn't do anything for your sound in these genres. So why fucking put it on there?
Why not?
I'm not trying to show off. I want a guitar that sounds good.
But why not? You've got the option.
It'll give you too much feedback, given the genre of music that you're playing.
You don't need it for heavier music. The bridge pickup is the guy.
You've got a selector switch. Turn it off.
So why would I fucking pay for a fucking goddamn pickup and then switch my selector switch to never use it?
Why would you have a selector switch that? Oh,
This is going back a week. Why buy? It's kind of like why buy a guitar that's already had the distressed look.
Yeah, why would I pay for a pickup that I'm never going to use? You don't use that pickup in that style of music, so why would I say, hey, charge me extra so I can have that, please? What am I, dumb?
yeah.
No comment.
Oh, see, you think you got friends, and this is what they do to you.
I'm going to shut up. Yeah.
That's funny.
So it's got the center pickup, so you'll have some of that.
So right here, I'd have a Fernandez sustainer, and then like a kill switch here, or just switch here. Have the
When the only important question is, where would you have the coffee maker?
Do you know what? Probably.
I mean, we already know the entire neck and head is going to have the storage for the whiskey, so you just need the coffee now for the Irish coffee.
Look, let's face it. We all know what guitar needs to be there.
Oh, I fell asleep. Hey. I don't understand why people love the triple pickup thing. You don't use all three of them.
It's all right if you're not restricted to one particular genre. If you're a tribute act, it kind of makes sense. But just for an individual, it's not really much point, from what I can tell.
Thank you.
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm killing the monsters because they're bad and they're dragons. And they have
So
to
what
go.
did that say?
So that's not actually what I've got my spec.
What did that down think about? Did he classify anything?
What did Dapper say about the animals?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them he definitely classified as reptilian. A couple of them actually qualified under his definition for dinosaur. And one of them, the little short one, he got away from me. Or I killed him already, I can't remember. But he, based on the way that his feet were set up and based the way of his scaling, could have been classified as a mammal.
Wow.
It looked like a reptile. It looked like a little Komodo dragon, big mouth motherfucker, but because of the way his scales were set up and the fact that he was clearly warm-blooded because he was shooting lava out of his face, that if he's warm-blooded with 4 toes, probably a mammal. I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
I've been killing my own people this whole time.
See, this is what you want.
Oh, fuck off.
That's a thing of beauty.
Why?
So you got your Fernandez sustainer circuit, you got your bare knuckle humbucker, and you've got your chaos pad. MIDI input, so you can literally control anything with that screen.
Yeah, John 5 got rid of the chaos pad after like 1 show because it's fucking stupid. When you have to put 38 batteries in your guitar, you're kind of missing the point.
This is what Matt Bellamy does.
That's like Guitar Hero, isn't it?
You look like the Rocksmith advertisement.
Look at the price.
Oh, what is that?
The thing is, it's
what is that
nearly
knowledge?
150 quid in postage. 6.5 grand US.
Oh no, no, absolutely not.
$6,476.
Look at that beautiful machine.
That's awful. What are you gonna do with that?
Use it for multiple effects.
Just spray.
But you're not going to recreate the Who, are you?
Just fucking spray your load all over it and then sell it to the next bloke. That's pretty much what that's for.
All right, Mikey, how would you like it shipped?
Not at all, please. Ship it with some fucking Lysol wipes because I know that's what the previous bloke did with it before he fucking mailed it off to me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Oh, nasty. Nasty, man.
Right. Anyway, I'm going to bed.
We'll go to bed and go dream about fucking ridiculous guitars that are totally useless and don't fit the genres in which they are featured.
Whatever.
Whatever, your face. Love you, Wayne.
Good night, man.
Oh, dear.
Michael,
Too sweet.
He's too sweet.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. This was awesome. I really can't wait to do it again. This is really cool.
Oh, you're fucked now. You're in the Rolodex.
Oh,
You're,
shit.
you're obligatory.
Good to know.
Oh, Wayne's gonna bollocks you.
Yeah.
Good night, man.
Fucking Wayne Lynch.
I'll make you the remix, Wayne. Don't worry about it.
Oh, man, no worries.
I
I'll
got
see you
you.
later.
Mm-hmm.
Later, man.
See you later.
Look at him. He just closes the fucking laptop. Look at the fucking barbarity of this man. The barbarity. He doesn't fucking close the window and like sign out of the call. He just closes the laptop. Jesus Christ, Wayne. We're gonna have some talks. He's gonna be spinning circle for like the next 3 minutes. Can I kick him? I'll just kick him. Kick from studio. Ha ha. In your face. That's not here. Oh. It makes sense to have 3 on a Strat with 3 single coils. Yeah, single coils, I could understand that. But if you're going humbuckers, yeah, you're kind of past that point of nuance in your fucking guitar sound. You need some oak rest. That's like the Black Beauty that Gibson put out. Like, dude, don't put 3 fucking humbuckers stacked on top of each other. Like, what is the point? What are you trying to accomplish with this, Dr. Frankenstein? Down this monster goes. So, Pine, what you been up to, man?
Working too hard.
I hear that.
Yep. Don't start till 1 tomorrow, though, so fuck it.
And what time is it there? 6 hours at 10? 11?
It's 11 o'clock now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I still
almost 5.
Yeah. 1 p.m. start, so plenty of time to sleep. Okay.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of did that. Well, kind of had to do something. Went to sleep at 5 a.m. and got up back at 8:30 to keep going. It's enough rest.
That's rough.
Gotta earn that money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. This might be an interesting discussion because I had a conversation with a coworker about someone that's in their family that has been on public assistance for what it would seem to be 2 generations now. And she was kind of upset about it because she's like, well, what about all the rest of us that have been working our asses off to just make ends meet, and we've sacrificed and we've struggled to do things, but this person gets to do nothing and they've been completely taken care of.
But it's not like that either, because so I have family the same way. I have lived the same way. I have found myself in situations where I've needed the help. I have always been a worker, so I can empathize to a certain extent. There have been times in the past where I have looked down upon that way of living.
Same.
But after educating myself, looking into it, learning more about what it's like, they have the same struggles as somebody who's working, regardless of them being home or not. I see similar struggles. Some take a lot of advantage, but the majority need this help. They really need to. They need the assistance. There's just no way around it, for multiple reasons. And I have also noticed that those that do live in those scenarios find their way out. They, for the most part, they don't stay there. They don't, certain things, certain generations do linger, but the situation has to be observed as to why. And most of the time, it's necessary, regardless of how long it's been.
Yeah, and I don't know if she knew. I mean, this was like a childhood friend of hers, so maybe she knew like more of the specifics than she let on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I get her not trying to like put homegirl's business all out there, just for the sake of a conversation.
Right. But it can be upsetting. It's just, getting it. People are so misinformed.
Yeah.
Their woke is not. It's not education. It's speculation. If I have, being a bartender, I serve people who come in multiple,
walks of life.
Professions, walks of life, professions, and I do come across. I don't bartend anymore, but I have in the past come across a lot of people that have this opinionated view on, like, damn it, why am I paying for healthcare? Why am I working for? Why am I paying taxes? And you hear it. You understand that. You get into conversations with them, and the majority are just angry that they do all this work. They bust their asses to pretty much for nothing. They're just killing themselves day in, day out. There's no break. There's no room for breathing. And it's frustrating. Yeah, just struggling. Regardless of you being in a good profession that makes you good money or not, you still have problems.
Yeah.
More money, more problems.
The way I see it is, when people say, why is this person on X, Y, or Z benefits? Why are they getting all the help? I think they're looking at it from the wrong angle. They should be saying, why is the government not helping everybody? Why do we have to struggle so much to just take an inch forwards, never mind a full step? You got to fight, you got to battle, you got to do everything. And as Aziz was saying, even if you have more money, you get taxed more, which I kind of agree with. Once you hit a certain threshold, why should a billionaire pay the same tax as me? They shouldn't. They should be proportional to what they have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's institutionalized within the government to not tax the richer because they want them to stay in the country. But you need to make up that money somewhere, and unfortunately, it's us fuckers that get screwed.
Yeah.
And that I'm glad you touched on that, because that's kind of where I tried to relate to her. I was like, I get that you're frustrated with her, but your problem is not with her. The rules of the game are such. She's following the rules of the game. If you're mad about the rules, then be mad about the rules. They ain't got nothing to do with her. She didn't make the rules.
Yeah. A friend of mine.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
A friend of mine, her father is a quadriplegic. For years, her mother looked after the father. However, they're both advanced in years. So now she's quit her job, which, with 50 grand a year, which gives you a bit of comfort in this country.
Yeah.
And she's now on carer's allowance, which is something like £600-700 a month. You get a few other bits and pieces to help you out, but it's a huge cut. And all our friends were egging on her, saying, "Look, why are you doing that? You just want to live off government and social." It's like, no, she's looking after her father. It can't be helped.
And I think it's
they
weird.
Still don't understand.
And I think it's weird that, like, I guess it happens in the UK as well, but we have this like intrinsic want to protect corporations and protect people with billions of dollars, because I think that's kind of what we've been indoctrinated into.
Well, so it has a lot to do with trade. So countries don't exchange currency. Every country, euro, dollar, yen, etc. So currency is not exchanged. Trade is instead implicated, and it's up to the corporations to keep the dollars flowing. So that's the importance. That's where it starts. The rest is just trickle down and getting the workers to continue keeping the cogs moving.
Right.
Just like the meat industry right now. Big deal because of the coronavirus. They force these people to work. We have workers dying. We have infected food. It's just stupidity. Why? For the demand. They need to, that's another thing. Instead of going by consumption, they're going by population. So there's 1 million people here. Okay, we need 1 million cows, 1 million pigs, 1 million of everything, one for each person. And there's our biggest problem, why corporations have the grip that they hold. They're controlling the money.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way the tariff and quota structure is set up is to penalise the trade of one country or gift to another one.
Yeah.
So, for example, China and America, the quotas that China have to adhere to are just quite ridiculous in many cases. And there's actually quotas of how much can be sent to China as well, which is relatively new phenomenon. That's why the powdered milk shortage in China was really quite big about 10 years ago. And people say that governments don't stimulate an economy, but they can slow it down hugely by having stupid policy.
They can definitely fuck it up.
Yeah.
Knowingly and unknowingly. And
Yep.
and the other thing I was telling my coworker, I was just like, if she wants to take advantage of a system that isn't efficient, that's not her fault. That's our fault. What do you mean?
Yep.
No, me and you, this is our fault. There are problems with the system that we both see, and we don't hold our elected officials accountable for it. If you see something wrong with it and you don't take it to the people that are supposed to represent you to change it, then how can you complain about it after the fact?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like people that did vote in the last election and then bitching about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Well, did you vote for Hillary? No. Well, why the fuck you bitching? Shut your fucking face. The only people that you can forgive are the ones that were too young to vote last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another issue. Now you have people where I'm not voting for either one of them again. And I'm like, what do you not understand? Yeah, what do you not understand about communication leading to progress? Randolph.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going, guys?
The thing is, I can understand trying to push a modern dichotomous system. I can living in one where there's many parties that can potentially gain leadership.
Yes,
I really enjoy that.
I'm with that.
But this isn't the election.
Yes,
2016 wasn't the election.
Yeah, let's all share reality. Look, reality is we are not living in a world where we have multiple people to choose from and actually maybe elect a group of people that can lead us instead of some one dumbass idiot. Let Congress take, but we're not there yet. We haven't rewritten the Constitution. We haven't made those efforts because we're sitting here fighting about, well, what about me? Fuck you. There's a community. There's a society. You know, it's like, yeah, let's open the doors to communication so we can get there. I think there's another that is willing to.
Let's just be clear as well. Joe Biden has a hell of a lot of issues. Some of them really serious. But compared to what you've currently got, it's relative. You've got to weigh up the pros and cons on both.
Correct. Correct. That's my better choice, and I'm going to go for my better choice. It's a better choice. I don't care what you say. Because right now, I think a piece of shit is a fucking better choice.
Yep.
It's just...
I've seen the memes.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad that it's come down to that.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, the meme is so honest that it's upsetting. I can't be any more honest with those memes. Where are we?
And I think that's something that like we all kind of suffer from, is like we can all like as a community, like as this group of friends, like the Ben group mixed with the Randolph group mixed with the Neil group, you know what I'm saying? Like we can all see that, yo, this is a problem. And then if any one of us was in charge of the situation, maybe we wouldn't come up with the best solution on the first try. But god damn, it'd be better than what the fuck is going on right now. Like we can, and I think that's, and then we like, especially for the bin, we constantly get called an echo chamber. It's like, no, me and Wayne and fucking Shartan just argued for fucking an hour and a half about this goddamn Cuties movie. Like we argue about shit, but when something is so fucking blatant and obvious, it's bullshit to call something an echo chamber.
And fundamental.
Like this is basic fucking civics wrong. You can't enrich yourself from the White House. That's wrong. Like there is no nuanced
it's
discussion
illegal.
to be had. Yeah, it's against the fucking Constitution. You're not allowed to do that. You can't send out the fucking mail-in voting ballots with your fucking face plastered all over it, talking about your talking points. That's wrong.
Yeah.
You can't do that. But then I'm hyper liberal, just because, bro. I don't care if Barack Obama or fucking John McCain or anybody, Marco Rubio, name the fucking politician. If they were elected into office and then upon the re-election, the mail-in ballots had their face plastered all over it, I'd have an issue.
Yeah, me too.
I think there was a president that actually got heavily criticized just for holding up a ballot and saying, this is what you need to use. Because it would give the impression that we're saying, look, use it to vote for me. Although they were just saying, you know, almost doing a public service.
Right.
I might have the wrong country. It might be in Australia, but essentially the same principle applies.
Like I'll have to try to find the fucking the what's it called, because the girl showed it on Twitter. She had a very funny like Vine that went viral of she like opened it and then opened it and then opened it and then opened it, and then you saw like the actual ballot, but those first three unfoldings were all fucking Trump propaganda.
Yeah. All of it. The inside was the actual not ballot, but the absentee. No, absentee ballot.
Yeah. The mail-in joint.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing was covered in Trump propaganda. Really,
I was listening on CBC radio this morning. They're talking about people in the U.S. are rallying together to get people registered as voters. And one person, a church pastor, was saying that he just recovered from COVID-19. He just barely survived, and he said if people are getting born not in hospitals and they don't get a birth certificate and they don't get registered for voting when they're older automatically, like, what a mess! It shouldn't be like that at all.
I think that's intentional though, because that's something super easy to set up, and a lot of other countries already have it. So for us to not have it, and for it to have the disparaging numbers that it's produced, and then them seeing those numbers and still not doing it after the fact, it lets me know some things.
Oh yeah. It shows that Melania Trump's message is accurate. Yeah. We really don't care. That's what it basically. I think she needs to change the I to a we to make it more accurate. But yeah, and this systemic racism problem is a big part of it. And, I'm kind of. I wanted to draw some attention to David Silverman's most recent Twitter posting. He's trying to compare the existence of systemic racism with the existence of God, and he's taking so much flack for it, which is good to see. But
you want to share it real quick?
Yeah, go for it. I just posted in the private chat, so you've got the link there.
Okay.
You can just copy the link. Yeah, and it's.
I've got a little board that says, hours since somebody's mentioned David Silverman's name. There's only like one digit on there.
I'm curious to know people's reactions on this. Everybody's here. Mine is that I don't think it's a fair comparison. I don't think it's a proper comparison.
It's a false a false equivalence for sure.
Yeah.
False equivocation. Yeah.
Yeah, equivocation. My apologies.
No,
the
it's
existence of God. There is zero credible evidence. The existence of systemic racism has a long history of being demonstrable. Forget the exact title. Forget the exact. Sorry, go on.
Some people even posted a reference to PubMed's scientific research supporting the fact that systemic racism is real. There's no question about this.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
Yeah, I mean, where we're going to go with it is historically, you've got in the southern states, there was after the Civil War, there were particular laws which were dreamt up to force people back into slavery through the prison system.
Yeah,
then you move forward. Yeah. You've got World War II. You got a GI's Bill or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was called. But all the white soldiers were helped to own property and start businesses. Black people weren't eligible.
Yeah.
These things have built up to a place now where them systems are still in effect, just not directly. And that's just from them, never mind the things that have happened since.
Yeah. And you get people, there's a long history of people fighting back from Rosa Parks to other people as well, refuse to comply with those ridiculous racist laws. And it's in a way, I'm very happy to see that people are fighting back against it because they've been disrespected for so long, and they want this basic modicum of respect that they're not getting, that they're entitled to, and everybody deserves that. It's so horrible what's going on, and the atrocities of the past are just awful. I speak out against the racism from time to time when I encounter it in my face, because I did this back in high school as well, and I ended up winning more friends for it. But the thing is, it's just not. When I see a whole country being operated this way, something's seriously wrong. And the fact has been going on for so long, it really needs to be fixed. But I think you guys are in for another civil war, unfortunately.
So I got the
Are you guys
tweet.
able to hear me?
Yeah. Let me read
Mikey's
this.
being a hero. He's going to show the Twitter posting.
Yeah, I'm gonna show the tweet real quick. So this is David Silverman, who I don't know that I've actually
Mikey,
talked to him.
sorry, Mikey. Sorry to interrupt. It's coming up blurry. You might need to read it out.
Okay, let me just stop sharing then. If it's not coming through clear, then there's no.
Yeah, you know.
Now it's starting to show.
No, it's cleared.
It's
Cleared up now.
Okay. He says this was September 17th, 2020, 3:12 p.m.
That's today.
The fact that some black people are sure there is systemic racism is no more proof of systemic racism than the fact that all Christians believe in God is proof of God. Numbers matter, details matter, but knowing/feeling in your heart that the systemic racism/God is real does not.
That's silly.
So here's the problem that he's going to find himself walking into. There's evidence for systemic racism. There is no evidence for God that I've seen. That's convincing.
No credible evidence.
Yeah,
no credible evidence.
Credible
Testimonial evidence only.
There's no God.
The numbers.
You know what he just said right there.
like the numbers literally are not on his side. The stats and facts are not on his side.
Yeah.
No.
And David, in case you are watching, by all means, come on in. I'll
Go
send you a
fuck
link.
yourself.
I'll send you a link, big boy, and you can talk it out with me. But you're wrong.
If you want to see a great example of how systemic racism affects black communities even today, there's a great documentary on the formation of the Bloods and the Crips and how they became, like how that culture, the block culture in LA became a thing. Mm-hmm. And it absolutely will break that down to show you exactly how that over the course of the 20th century, systemic racism built those communities into what they are. Yes. When now you've got guys that live 2 or 3 blocks away from the ocean, but they've never seen it because if they get off of their block, they'll get shot. You know what I mean? And so, it's absolutely a thing. He's got his head up his ass.
Yeah, it was evident. You can't help but notice it. I grew up hanging out on the streets of New York, moved to LA, and there is I went from a place that's called the melting pot. It's very true that we have all sorts of life, to a place where there's a lot of segregation between the black community, the Hispanic community, the Asian community. It's evident here. You see it, and it has everything to do with what Duke just said as far as going into history of gangs like the Bloods and Crips and how systemic racism has kind of been established in the fucking United States due to laws that have forced us into systemic segregation.
Yeah,
dude, there were scenes in that documentary where a young black lady was walking down the street, and these older white men are walking along behind her, hitting her in the head and doing all this crazy stuff. And like, if I could have gone into the TV screen and throttled them, I would have done so with a gigantic smile on my face.
Oh my God, bro! Like, I have to like prepare myself whenever I watch, even if it's a period piece and it takes place during the civil rights era, because those little girls, that's my mom.
Yeah,
like my mom. That's my mama, dude. Like, these motherfuckers are hitting my mama upside the head trying to go to fucking school. Man, fuck y'all. What the fucking punch everybody? Like, but I have to like rein it in, you know, because it's like it's so crazy. Like, even as a kid, you picture all these things as being so long ago. But then my mom tells me, "Oh yeah, I didn't get to go to school with white people until I was 11."
Right.
And I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Wow.
This is my mom.
It's one person
I have to add in, like, to that.
One person ago, this shit
was
happened.
talking about. He's trying to chop down systemic racism, which we've gone over and completely cleared up the fact that yes, there is evidence for it, and we can actually show evidence for that it exists. But what he's saying right there is that believing something and having it in your heart that something is real doesn't make it real. But he's admitting that, and that's so fucking true. He's saying that about Christianity, you know, and it's like he's just kind of admitting that, you know, faith is worthless when it comes to demonstrable evidence. But he's wrong about the systemic racism part about it, but he's completely right about the other half that he's trying to support. So,
No, I
So
mean,
what, Martin Bailey?
The analogy is horrible.
I don't know.
The analogy is terrible.
I don't know that he can conflate the two. Because one
You
has
can't.
one has evidence
you can't
and one
conflate
doesn't.
the two. It's just there's a side point that he's making right there that he's inadvertently making, kind of going against the point that he's making.
Yeah, right. You take
But
it's
this is
exactly
my-
true. You take any point, you take anything that is can be proven by evidence and replace systemic racism with it, such as evolution or cosmology or any of those things, and it's still it's stupid. It's a stupid analogy because one of the things, it doesn't matter if you believe it in your heart or not, because it's objectively true. We know it's true because we have the facts to back it up. Like it's just a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favourite responses, and then response to that. History and statistics show they were absolutely right about systemic racism. It's not just feelings, for fuck's sake. I often wonder if people who believe systemic racism is a myth have some malfunctioning part of their brain that understands cause and effect. Like hundreds of years of slavery and decades of segregation have consequences. The past impacts the present. It's not complicated.
It's easy
I
to
can't
me.
exactly say it by myself.
It's easy to me. It makes sense to me, but I've learned a long time ago, don't assume that everybody thinks the way you think. And you might have
That's
to
right.
explain some things that other people may not get intuitively as you do. Not a problem.
That's true.
And depending on my interlocutor, I will spend an evaluated amount of energy explaining or not explaining something to somebody. So I mean, if
Yeah, but
David
there's
really
also-
thinks this, I'd love to have him on, and I'd love to have the conversation. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna treat him like shit. Come on in, brother. Ain't nobody mad at you, but you're wrong.
I'm gonna send an invite to him,
That's-
ask him to do it.
Cool.
That's all true. But you also sometimes have to go to Duke Galatians chapter 3, verse 2.
Oh,
Which,
Duke
says
Relations.
thou-
Yeah,
thou-
yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
thou
on.
shalt-
Let me get my book. Hold on. I got the book right here. Hold on.
That's right. Thou shalt not. Thou shalt not
minute.
discuss ethics with stupid people.
There's a bunch of sticky tissues in here that got sent in with my
Yeah.
volume. What is this? Oh,
Hey, baby, those are for you.
Oh, I thought everybody's had these.
No,
No,
That's equivalent.
everybody gets their own book.
That's
There's specialties in them.
Chapter 5 and
That's
6 are
equivalent
stuck
to the-
together. Like, what was that about?
That's equivalent to the body and blood of Christ.
Oh God, the body and blood of Duke.
You're supposed to keep
Gross.
That's right.
Gross.
This
If you
wine,
bend them back
listen,
and forth enough, you can reuse them.
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
This wine is my blood. This wine is my blood. This bread is my body, and this mayo.
Mayo.
Yeah. Well, it's the milk and the cheese.
I hate you. Oh, that was so nasty.
Oh, I got something.
Oh, that ain't shit. We're not talking about the fresh mayo, boy. We're talking about the shit that's been out in the air for a few minutes and it's got that those clear tips on it. You know what I'm saying?
The little crust.
The
That
cheese.
yellow,
reference.
that yellow color.
That little crust on the tip. Y'all nasty.
Nasty.
No, but I said this
Oh,
the other day
shit.
on Twitter, and I meant it. Like, never get into ethical conversations with stupid people.
Oh no, never.
Just don't do it. If you can't talk, if you're talking to somebody that doesn't understand like logic and on any level, just don't get into it with them because it's just painful for everybody. They get pissed off, you get pissed off, everybody gets pissed off, then you're fucking pissed off, and that sucks.
And honestly, I'm glad you brought that up because I've said this privately to like a couple of groups of people. When it comes to defining racism and all that shit with people who aren't black, I'm not having that conversation anymore.
Yeah.
Just going out there, public PSA, I'm not having the conversation. It literally fucks me up and I get way too invested. And I don't sleep that night, and then I'm late for work, and I'm all pissed off, and my girl's like feeling neglected because I've been so upset about this that I can't do my proper husbandry. No,
That's not good for you.
I don't do it no more. I just don't do it no more.
Good.
I can't be a good mate to my mate while conversing about shit that motherfuckers should know about and they don't. And it's really not my job to inform everybody on the planet about everything. So
Yeah.
It's not.
I've decided to let the shit be. Motherfuckers can say whatever the hell they want to say about racism. From now on, I do not publicly have a rebuttal. Say whatever you want. I'm like, all right, and back to pandas, and why won't they mate? Man.
Yeah.
Strange.
There was some shit going on my Facebook feed that's been going on for a few days, and it was irking me a little bit. So I pulled a friend of mine aside in DMs and tried to explain, like, why what she was so upset about was inconsequential, and it did not go well. It did not go well, and that's why I posted. I mean, I shouldn't say stupid people because she's not stupid. She just was being like obstinate.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, I was like, yeah.
Thing is, you can say something stupid without actually being a stupid person. I think that's a distinction you need to make there.
I've never done that.
There is stupid and there's being stupid. I can be stupid from time to time. That's why I refer to myself as a recovering idiot.
From time to time?
A recovering idiot.
I've got a black belt.
That's clever.
He said recovering idiot. I'm dead.
I mean, we're all born stupid, right? I mean, then we learn.
Coming up with recovering idiot takes actually not being an idiot to come up with something like that.
Yo, recovering idiot.
All I'll say is, we're all born stupid except for Inane Dragon. That guy knows fucking everything. Every fucking thing. And he'll be all like,
for the crowd, baby.
Dude, he'll be like, I'm not that smart. And I'm like, oh, really? Can you tell me about the agricultural practices of early Mesopotamia and blah, blah, blah? He'd be like, yeah, well, in the year, blah, 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 blah. Like, you didn't even have enough time to look it up, you asshole. You know what I mean?
Like, bro,
look at it as I refuse to imbibe from the cup of ignorance. And like, I've got my like 5-7 year chip, something like that. Just something along those lines.
Meanwhile, Mikey Fam is over here with Lil John talking about some shots.
I remember getting into it with someone, and this other person was saying a mott is inherently a castle. It's like, well, no.
Oh, what?
And I would just a mott or a motte. M-O-T-T-E.
Like that little river around a castle, the moat.
No, that's M-O-A-T. A motte.
Well, then I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What the hell are you talking about, Pine Snake?
Can you speak English, Pine Snake?
It's a keep within a castle. However, the point of the story is, I was coming back with very short snippets of answers, and then Dragon were coming up with like 17 tweets, all explaining how they were wrong almost on every single word that they'd said.
Yeah. I used to Final Fantasy style summon fucking Inane Dragon like Bahamut on fucking on Final Fantasy. I used to just put I would just tag him and be like, Inane, I need you to jump in here and do that thing that you do so well.
Final Fantasy style summon him.
Which movie was that from? Bonanza, the one Blazing Paddles or Blazing Saddles or something? Parody, I believe.
What?
Blazing Saddles were a parody.
That's a documentary. I believe
that came from one of those.
I love you, baby. Ooh, look what she done brought in.
Yeah, that's a brilliant movie.
IQ.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Is that mac and cheese?
That's the rice, boy.
Oh, nice.
That's that rice. And then the quesadilla.
The quesadilla.
Quesadilla with the fucking... Oh, shit. They hooked it up.
Welcome to Multicultural USA. Oops, did I say that out loud?
No, you're not allowed to be nothing except for American, apparently, which is so weird.
Yeah,
you're going to like this one, Mikey. I was in Taco Bell drive-thru, right?
You know
and then I could hear the person ordering in front of me, and they'd asked them. They really seriously asked this person, is there cheese in your quesadilla? I'm not sure if the person got fired or not for saying this, but I do appreciate them saying it like they did. They said, Ma'am, it's a quesadilla. Queso's Spanish for cheese.
Hold on.
Talking about
American freedom.
racism. Talking about racism, man. I had an extremely racist Karen at my friggin' job today, dude.
Oh, tell us all about Karen. What Karen did?
All right, so we've got these signs that are like they're like corrugated plastic, and they basically tell you how to keep a safe distance, right? On one side of it is English, on the other side of it's Spanish.
Okay.
I think I see where this is
This
going.
lady walks in and she next to me. Yeah, the lady walks in, she's standing next to me, and she looks at me and gives me this look, and she points at the sign, and I said, "Yes, ma'am." Yeah. And she goes, "Why is it in Spanish?" I said, "Well, because quite a few of our customers are Spanish speakers, and we want to accommodate them as well." And she goes, I said, "The other side's in English for people that read English." And she said, "Well, why don't you turn it around so the English side faces the door?" And I said, "Well, because then if a Spanish-speaking person came in, they wouldn't be able to read it, and they're just as important as everybody else." And
No,
she
not.
stomped her foot, and said, "Are you freaking serious?" I said, "Oh, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. I'm totally serious. I'm completely serious." And she says, "Well, I'm glad you think that." And I said, "So am I. I'm sorry that you don't." And she was like, I'm gonna go talk to the store manager about this." I said, "By all means, man, and you have a wonderful day.
Not the
Go
store
tell the
manager.
store manager."
Oh,
Listen,
no.
by all means. Like, I promise you this. If I get fucking in trouble, and one of my coworkers was like, "Well, why didn't she just turn it around herself?" And I was like, to be honest, if she'd done that, I would have just grabbed it and turned it right back around. I'll go fucking home, dude. If they want to fire me for fucking putting a racist in their place, I'll go to the fucking house, dude. I don't like that job that much, man.
And then
Fuck
maybe
that.
maybe this is something that Americans can answer, and then you non-Americans can laugh at us. What is the
We'll do that anyway.
what is the
Would be the first time.
what is the obsession with being ignorant to other languages? Maybe not for us specifically.
Xenophobia.
There it is.
Yeah.
We got people
Xenophobia.
that are
We don't-
too, though.
We have this concept that having a different language is an affront to American culture. When American culture has been for quite a long time a melting pot of people from all over the fucking planet,
Right.
and get the fuck used to it. You know what I mean? It's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing ever. And she's an ignorant jerk. It's amazing. It's amazing how I don't think if I were a Hispanic guy, I don't think she would have said anything. She would have just went about her business. But I think for whatever reason, white people feel like when they're talking to another white person, they can say racist shit. You know what I mean? 'Cause I've had people say shit to me where I'm like, "Did you just say that?" If you ever get a chance, look at my blog. If you ever get a chance and you look at my blog, I've got an article I wrote called "White People: An Anthropological Study," and it breaks down some of the experiences I've had where it's like, I don't know what makes you think that because our skin tone is similar, that you can talk to me about this shit that you're talking to me about, and I'm just going to agree with you.
Yeah.
And I don't get where that comes into fucking play, dude. I don't understand. But I had a lady one time at the hospital I worked at. I went to give her insurance information because she didn't have it, and I'd looked it up. So I printed it all off and put it in an envelope and give it to her because she was from out of town. And I walk in, and she goes, "Oh, I have a question. There's a black guy with dreadlocks. He's walking around the hallway. Do you just let black guys walk around?" It was like, "Yes."
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We totally do. And then
I've been around that.
it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. She's like, "Then, well, I was in the bathroom. You don't think he came in here and stole anything out of my purse, do you?"
I've been there. I've seen that. I'm working as a bartender.
And what I wanted to say to this person,
Yeah, you see that. You see that a lot in the world. Sorry.
I work in North Florida, right? I'm in North Florida. I'm in the fucking like worst area of the fucking planet.
Still Florida.
And what I wanted to say to her when she said that, I wanted to say, you apparently don't know the white people around here.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking sketchy as hell. Yeah. And but I didn't. I mean, because I was working and I didn't want to get fired, so I just put, no, ma'am. I'm almost positive that he didn't steal anything out of your purse. Here's your insurance information. Have a safe trip back to Louisiana. Like, fuck.
I once got into it with a racist who was totally illiterate and probably any definition of stupid you want to use. However, I said to them, do you think having more melanin in your skin means that you are better somehow naturally? He said, oh, yeah, definitely. I said, yeah, black people have more melanin, not white. And just had to shut off.
Oh, he didn't even know
that's
what
one of those.
was?
That's one of those. That's one of those you eat a dick moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And unfortunately for him, not me, it was in the middle of a crowded pub of young hip students who were earwigging on what we were saying, and everyone burst out laughing when it was pointed out to him.
Yeah.
Well, those two instances are not even the most racist shit I've ever had happen in person. Like, I've had instances where it was like, I have had times where it was so shocking.
From Duke?
Absolutely.
Delicious.
D cheese, baby. D cheese.
Oh.
That's why there's so many holes in it.
Are you still eating, Mikey?
And that's why the holes are so small.
Totally true. Totally true.
That's a cheese sandwich.
Perfect.
I am the king of China, and I like a tight vagina.
Stop it. Hey.
At least we know it's due.
I'm quoting Hitchens there, man. Hitchens said that shit, not me.
Well, you just said it.
I can't kick him off the stream. That motherfucker dead. Like, come on.
What happens, the shit happens on all sides. So me being Hispanic and being white, I get confusions on both sides. I get it from the white population talking down about Spanish people not knowing I'm Hispanic, but I also get a lot of Hispanic people not knowing that I can speak Spanish talking about me being white. And it's funny. It's just I start speaking Spanish and they get really, really embarrassed. So it does happen all the way around. It's not always just white people doing that. I do
At
see.
least they've got the decency to be embarrassed, though.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I agree with that. 100%. 100. They say shut up. They like, oh, I'm sorry. They actually apologize. They're humble. They're not arrogant and be like, oh, well, fuck you. You don't belong here.
Well, you just caught somebody being an asshole, and at least they recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
yeah, and that's a huge difference. Huge difference.
Divine Disbelief says, I think racism. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I don't think American exceptionalism is not a new concept. We're the same people that said the Jews to go back to Germany and Poland in 1933 to 1939. The idea of nationalism in our country is absolutely prevalent and pervasive, especially among the white population, which, around 60-70% of our population, especially in the really the Midwestern and less populated areas. But the idea that speaking English only in our country it's actually a newer concept. It's not a concept that was whenever like you're talking in the late 19th, early 20th centuries. And so we actually started to create.
I'm sorry, that's our fault. Is that one? It became prevalent over here during the 50s with the Windrush generation. You had people coming in from the Caribbean, India, Pakistan, and them kind of areas. And obviously they came here, and when they were talking to each other, were talking in Punjab or whatever language it was, and then we've exported it elsewhere. So That's how bad.
No, it's,
I mean,
no,
it
it's
has to be a
certainly-
new thing because the United States of America is seriously made up of everywhere else.
But for the last 200
Yeah.
years, it's been that way. I mean, look at the way we had concentration camps in the West Coast for Japanese. They built
Yeah.
our railroads, and all we can do is make fun of them, of the way they look, slanted eyes, surnames. The same thing goes for the Hispanic population, where the Mexican, the immigrant, the wetback. I'm like, there's so many things that for the last 200 plus years since we started our own civil war, this has been very prominent in the United States. So it's what's built the United States.
I mean, really, it goes back to settler colonialism. This is all the same stuff we did to the Native Americans. The whole concept of kill the Indian, save the man. Like, it's just a continuation of that.
Mm-hmm.
Godless Cranium has a great video on that, where he was talking about the schools that they put together for the Native Americans and for the indigent people to try to make them. They would go and take the kids away from their parents, and try to make them into westernized white folks and take their culture away from them. That video, if you ever have a chance to watch it, that's an eye-opening ass video. I actually helped with some of the research on that. So
thank you, because there's a huge lack of education on Native American history, and how it was
on purpose.
Exactly.
Oh, and the more you learn
don't
about
know
it, the more it'll get your fucking goat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how many Americans can tell you that we committed mass genocide of 108 million indigenous peoples over the course of about 60 years.
Yes.
In the quote unquote United States, or which, by the way, was used later on as a building block, if you will, for one certain person in Germany.
It was our version of the conquistadors. It was subtle. That's what it was.
Except we were. Well, then we suppressed this idea that it happened. And ultra nationalism in the United States begins with these types of nationalist, patriotic, if you will, types of school books, to call it that if you'd like to. And it's only recently that we've actually had this type of expansion of a want to actually know these things. And of course, now today we have a president who is attempting to basically censor what people can teach in schools by saying that it has to be like a nationalistic type of thing, where we're not going to teach about racism. We're not going to. Okay, first off, let's be honest. We don't to begin with, especially the systemic stuff that exists in still today. But now looking to say, no, it has to be ultra patriotic. We can't talk about the slave owning pieces of shit that are on Mount Rushmore, except for to say that Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair, right? And that's what we have a president right now that wants to do. Wants to lock out everything that's not white American Christian nationalism, not just Christian nationalism, because fuck the Catholics, right? But that's this is, and the racists, they don't care who they're standing around. They look for white people to try and validate their bigotry. Right. We have them on video doing this bullshit. They don't care. It's like the police.
And when you don't validate their bigotry, they get twice as fucking crazy, fucking pissed off. It's like, I hate to break it to you, Puddin' Pie, but I'm not fucking doing that shit, man. That's just not. That's just not how the Duke of Albanese.
I'm not bending over, buddy. Sorry, we gonna fight.
He said puddin' pie.
It's a Dukeism. You just gotta roll with it, baby.
I'm not doing it, man.
I love it.
That's right. That's the craziest thing. Like, I've actually had times in my life where I've thought to myself, if I were a black person, I would be in jail, or if I were a Hispanic person, I'd be in jail right now. Like, there was a time when we were coming back. I got to see Soundgarden open for 9 Inch Nails. It's one of the highlights of my entire life. And it was dope. It was dope. And then, like, we're on our way back from the show. The guy driving didn't drink all night long because he was driving. And so I was like, well, pull in. Like, we don't need to, I don't have to be at work tomorrow. Pull into fucking Food Lion and I'll fucking buy us some beer, and we'll go back to the house and drink beer and talk about the show. We pull in the food line, and it's closed. So I was like, me and the other guy both had to piss really bad. So I was like, well, just pull off to the side. We'll pee real quick. So he pulls off to the side. Me and my buddy get out. We piss in the bushes. We get back in the car. There's a cop car pulls in behind us. Turns the lights on. Comes up. And he goes, what are you guys doing? And I was like, well, you know, I told him the whole story. This is what happened. And he goes, all right, man. I've had to pee before. You guys have a good night.
Yep.
And he was like, well, we came out because there's been a lot of break-ins in this neighborhood. But you guys are obviously not doing that. I've had to pee in a bush too. And I was like, dude, I'll almost guarantee you that if I were a black guy, I'd be, if maybe not arrested, but certainly fucking pulled out of the car, checked. Because he was like, I smell a lot of beer. And he didn't even check anybody. He didn't like breathalyze the driver, nothing. He was like, I was like, no, that's me and this dude. We've been drinking. Our driver hasn't been drinking. And he was like, okay, no sweat. You guys go home.
I
was like, yeah, no.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Go ahead. No, I thought
you were done. I apologize. My apologies.
No, you're fine, buddy.
Sorry, I live near an alley and they're hung. Yeah.
And they got you, bro.
No. So yeah, no, I can actually relate to that greatly because me having the appearance that I have, being pulled over, having black friends, they're in the car. I've talked us out of it. And they're like, all right, have a good day, just because I spoke. And they're like, damn, we're glad you were here.
Hell yeah.
But it's reality, especially when you're in a big city. And worse if you're in a small town where they can actually do it privately.
Well, feel free to come to Portland right now, where they are convinced that the Antifa is starting fires, and also followed me to work one day last week because I have out-of-state plates, and they set up quote-unquote roadblocks by themselves with guns over in let's just say the full white areas of the state, which is almost everything because it's 1.8% black population in Oregon, and just outside of Portland where people are evacuating to, and asking them, what are you doing here? And stopping black people that are evacuating. They stop them with guns. These are citizens that the police don't stop. Yeah, this right. There is a and the cops were like, we know you're trying to be. This is literally something that happened in Oregon, in Portland. Jesus Christ. We know you're just trying to keep people safe. No, they're fucking not. They're trying to kill people. And they want to. And they want to especially kill people that don't look like them, don't talk like them, don't act like them, but most importantly, that don't look like them. These people are voting for this misogynistic, bigoted, racist fuck because they don't want anybody but white people to have anything.
Yeah.
I think the best thing we can do is to stay on top of this issue.
Yes.
Because think of a global community is really, really a new thing. Yeah. People were stuck. They were limited to, 3-month boat rides to go across the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're pretty much stuck apart from a very select privileged few to a bunch of people who look and talk and act like you. And it was really, really difficult to venture far enough to find anybody different enough to cause racism. So now we have a global community, and it's this skin color is really easy to pin, but it's not fucking about skin. It's not how much time your ancestors spent in direct sunlight. That's retarded. Sorry to use that word. It kind of slipped out. I try not to, but you know what I mean.
We know your heart. Keep it rocking. Yeah. We know your heart.
But it's if we stay on top of this, it will dissolve. You'll have pockets of hatred. You'll have pockets of ignorance, as there probably, sadly, always will be. But this will dissolve as a global community becomes more adapt to just being part of society.
I mean,
That's not how that
Well,
works, though, man. That's not
yeah,
that's not how
very, very
racism works.
positive thinking of you, but I don't see that.
It's like
Patience.
it's structural. It's historical. Like racism doesn't.
I'm not
dissolve
talking
without
about
the-
it dissolving tomorrow, next year, in the next century, maybe.
I'm saying it's.
I'm
something
talking
that's
about
confused
eventually.
with- Because you're
It
talking
will-
about interpersonal racism, and that might change over time. But like the structural racism that people are actually in the street about is baked into the very bones of the infrastructure.
That I agree
of
with.
this-
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, that's not going away for. Well, we started the country with it,
The fall of
so
capitalism and no, stop.
That's more of the
even-
effect,
And
really,
it's also-
even
that I
then,
see.
It's
Wait,
probably the United States, but it does happen all around the world. It does happen.
We
all
just-
What are the
we are
causes of this
really good at it.
systemic racism?
I think it's segregation. Just us separating ourselves from who has more money, who can afford to live better, who can afford to send your kids to a better school than going to a public school where there's no attention or there's just too many students per teacher. In my opinion, it's been that systematic segregation that has separated the classes and led to a lot of this, and that's been going on forever.
Yeah, I mean, what causes that? I'm like, this is what I do. That's the whole inquisitive quandary thing. I keep questioning the question, keep digging until you find what the root cause of something is. What's underneath that? What's pushing up those daisies?
It's very
Yeah,
well.
with
No, it's not
racism, it's
quite.
settler colonialism. It goes back hundreds of years.
So,
Yeah,
Like,
they-
this isn't.
hold on,
it's not something you can. yeah.
Okay, hold on. So let's get everybody in. IQ asked the question one more time, and then we'll go counterclockwise. But instead of me, we'll go to Duke. So ask one more time, IQ, and then Ease, Pine, IQ, K, Nathaniel, Duke.
What causes the racism? What causes the systemic racism? What is it in the human psyche that is underneath everything that is the cause of the segregation and the racism?
Okay, that's the question that everybody has to answer. Give yourself roughly 30 seconds and then pass it on to the next person. I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
I'm going first.
Yeah, if you want.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you're
All right,
first, and then we'll rock around the clock.
There's always been our own tribalism, our own unity among our own people, that we've kind of just separated ourselves because it's been better. What's better for us? Is it better for me to survive alone or with this group of people versus that group of people? And we've invented trade and money, and survival kicks in, and here we are in a society that's struggling to equalize the balance of the classes. And there's a struggle there. We've let it get too far. My opinion.
Civilization. Yeah, it's us banding together, the rise of agriculture and all that stuff, us pulling our resources together and forming tribes, as the strength in numbers thing.
Right.
Yeah,
So we use
totally get
that.
that.
Yeah, you use that to separate when it comes to divide and conquer to stay in power.
Yep, I think could generally agree with that. I'd probably go a couple of steps in a slightly different direction. At one time, racism in some way, shape, or form may have been necessary, especially when you look at xenophobia. However, in the 20th and 21st centuries, it became more apparent that as a globe, we needed to work together. However, there is now the position where people are becoming more liberal and progressive with their opinions, that systemic racism needs to be detached from individual racism. It is the things that were put into place that are still hanging upon everyone now. And people hear systemic racism and think that they're calling you a racist or me a racist. And then you get the things like not all white people, not all black people, and that kind of rhetoric. And that's what's keeping systemic racism in place, because no one will accept that there is a problem at the very core when they think they have been attacked.
Kind of like an inherited acceptance culturally and socially on
That's where I was going to go with it.
Yeah,
that's where I was going to go with it.
Kind of like the not all men with the Gillette advert. Toxic masculinity exists. Racism, systemic racism exists. Not all white, black, Asian, whatever type of people are racist. Not all men are sexist, misogynists, toxic masculinity bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that exists, and we need to accept that it exists to actually start dealing with the problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that totally.
Yeah,
it's typically any phrase that starts off with, "Well, a real man." ...
Yeah.
Or I'm not racist, but.
I love those.
That was great. That was great.
You can feel my eye roll from here. Whenever someone hit me with, "I'm not racist," I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go.
It's actually been very.
I'm not racist.
I would say that it's. I would say it's almost like a rite of passage issue, where, you know, the racism that is experienced, at least in America, the racism that people carry is something that's handed down from generation to generation.
Like an heirloom.
And in some cases, it becomes like an heirloom. In some cases, it becomes less and less, you know, but in some cases, it becomes more and more. It just depends on the nurture of the situation. And, you know, I think that the problem was that with systemic racism is the acceptance of it and the denial of it. That's what keeps it alive and well, is that people don't actually accept that it exists. They deny that it exists. They say, no, it's not a thing, blah, 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 blah. But I would say that it's, you know, it's that sitting around the dinner table and listen to your dad talk. You know what I mean? Like, if you're sitting around the dinner table and your dad's talking down about everybody that's not like you, that leaves an impression, and it's something that has to be overcome. Some people overcome it, and some people just don't. And it's the same kind of idea as to why so many people continue to be Christian in the face of the evidence. You know what I mean? Like, because it's the culture that you grew up in. The culture that you grow up in is inherently racist by its very values. It can be rather difficult to break free from it for some people. Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
Yeah, well, when you're handed information from trusted sources, people who you love and adore and trust, your parents, your uncles, you know, your teachers, you know, the preachers, people who you confide in, and they're giving you good truths in life, and they hand you some bullshit, and then somebody tells you something that they said is wrong, but it came from this person that you trust. You know, like, it can't be wrong.
Right.
They're never wrong. They've always done me really,
Right.
really good. They can't be wrong about this. And that is the core, I think, of at least the perpetuation of systemic racism, is that everybody is in denial that their trusted sources that have given them this bullshit can be wrong about it. And there's so much that's handed down that is so very wrong, and people don't want to admit that their parents were wrong about shit.
Yeah.
And I think if I can jump in for 1 second, and I think that's,
well, it's really hard.
Oh, hold on. Give me one brief moment. And I think that's something that's scary for people who are leaving religion, or anyone who's that 18, 19-year-old age where when they're leaving the nest, right? Where they have to say, yo, mom was on some bullshit. Like, she's fucking wrong. I know better than her. And then when you finally get that last little piece of agency, autonomy, when you finally get that last little piece where you're finally making all of your decisions for yourself based upon your own reason and rationale, like when you do that, it's scary. And I think a lot of people want to shy away from that, giving up that last little piece of sanctity, just because they're afraid. All right,
well, I was going to say, like, if you have, it's the same thing. If you have a really, really great relationship with your parents, and you really love your parents, and they're really great to you, and then you find out, it's really hard to take 5 steps back and say, "Holy shit, my parents were racist as fuck." It's really hard to do that. It's painful.
Yeah. I think this is one of the reasons why. I think this is one of the reasons why when people leave religion or any deeply held belief system, that one of the first things to go through is rage.
Yeah.
You can always tell who the new atheists are, or as in new to atheists, because they're always angry at the religious people that are saying, well, these are the apologetics that I know of. The betrayal of it, definitely. And then as time goes by, you can start to see them mellow out. One person on Twitter is a prime example where they've mellowed out is Danny. They were forever screaming at theists and pointing out how stupid they were and calling them all sorts of names like delusional and that. And recently they realised that that attitude is the wrong attitude to take.
Well, that attitude is learned.
Yeah.
And then whenever I run across a new atheist, I say, "Hey man, you're screaming and you have these hard lines in the sand about a whole bunch of things. Where do you think you learned that from?"
Mm-hmm.
And then they just stop dead in their tracks, and they're just like, "Oh no, I'm doing it again."
The way I explain it to them also is it's one of the stages of grief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First there's a denial, then there's anger and all the rest of them. And you can actually see it. And when they finally get to the acceptance stage, they're much happier and chilled out.
Much more rational and easy.
Not
to
me,
deal with.
baby.
Yeah. See,
except Duke. Duke is the exception. Duke is buck wild from day one.
So I grew up not believing ever. I grew up secular, but I've always had a hate for this shit. Like if I ever have anytime I've ever had a chance to shit in the church, I will pull down my pants and take shit in the church. It's just I have no respect for religion or gods or anything. I never have.
But this is the thing. There's a distinction to be made here between the church and God, and then the actual people.
So
this is the people that are shouting at.
Yeah. So I started off by saying, well, I used to be okay with saying, all right, what you believe is cool as long as you're not hurting everybody, until I started realizing that those beliefs are hurting me and people that I love. So the thought pattern changes, and the word delusion comes into effect, and it comes into, being something I could use to explain what's going on. Because I disagree with it so strongly. Because of the harm.
Alan Q's got a good video when it looks at delusion and how we use it in reference to feeling. It's actually not that accurate from a psychological standpoint. Delusion is not applicable.
I don't care about it being applicable. I much rather prefer it used for descriptive purposes. I could give a damn about how applicable it is.
Did we make it all the way around the circle? Did everybody get their answer? Kay, did I hear you?
Oh wait, no, okay.
I'll interject with one quick quote from Kwame Ture, aka Stokely Carmichael, on the whole subject of what is the nature of racism, what is the racism that matters. If a white man wants to lynch me, that's his problem. If he's got the power to lynch me, that's my problem. Racism is not a question of attitude, it's a question of power. Racism gets its power from capitalism. Thus, if you're racist, whether you know it or not, you must be anti-capitalist. The power for racism, the power for sexism comes from capitalism, not an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my 30 cents on that.
See, the communists would bring in this 30 cents. 30 is a sign of You look in the Second Colossians, 30 is the sign of the beast, and that's what I'll.
That reminds me of the best movie from the last decade that's non-Marvel. That's Black Klansman.
I didn't check that out yet.
Oh, dude, you got to. It's.
I mean,
What is it called?
Black Klansman.
Black Klansman.
Fun fact: the speaker that guy was trying to set up, the cop, was actually Kwame Ture that he was trying to infiltrate the group of.
Oh, sir, he knew that,
and that's why.
That's what reminded me of it.
Yeah, and yeah. Which makes it kind of fucked up that Spike Lee decided to make a movie about him, but
yeah,
well,
it was still well made. It was still a well-made film. I still liked it.
And it's a true story, although I believe some parts are dramatized. But yeah.
I think Spike got like $250,000 from the NYPD to make that movie.
Sounds right. Sounds right on brand for Spike.
Yeah.
I'm down for the struggle as long as them dollar signs is alright.
The NYPD paid him to make it.
Cash rules.
Well,
Kareem,
you know what though?
money.
I remember like I had a hard time having respect for Spike Lee because I remember seeing a quote from him where he said, "If I see an interracial couple, the look they get from me is daggers. They get really uncomfortable in my presence." And it's like,
yeah, but that's learned though. Just like I was saying before, that's learned shit.
Yeah.
That hatred of
no, I'm not saying it's not.
No, I'm agreeing with you more or less. Like, so I don't like my fiance is white. I deal with this shit every fucking week on Facebook where somebody got some smart ass fucking comment to say, and it's a daily occurrence for me that I have to dispel the rumor that I'm with a white girl because I hate black people.
That's some bullshit.
You know what? I'll take you a step further. I'll take you a step in another direction with that. I used to sing in an LGBTQ choir. I'm a bisexual man. When I was in the choir, I was married to a woman. So I was living practically as a heterosexual, right? And they would constantly introduce me as a straight ally, even though I would say over and over again that I was not a straight ally. I'm a bisexual man. I like dudes too. I just don't sleep around on my wife. You know what I mean? And
sounds so bizarre.
it was like, so like it was a situation where being bisexual in that situation was not gay enough to be gay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was catching that shit constantly. And these are all great people. I love them. I don't think that they're bad people at all. But it was just one of those things where it was like I would constantly they would be like, "Oh, this is our straight ally," and I'd be like, "Straight-ish." You know, like,
slightly curved.
Not exactly straight. I've sucked a few dicks. I've sucked a few dicks in my time.
Oh my god!
Oh, I stepped in. Wait, what's going on?
Theo, what up, Theo? Theo popped in right on top. Yeah, we all suck.
If you want somebody to take a conversation and make shit like real, and like take the conversation, turn it into a real conversation, bring Duke in because he will keep shit real.
Duke don't have a.
That's for sure.
Duke don't have a medium. It's all
y'all talking about
venti.
bisexuals?
It's all about venti when it comes to Duke. Duke is venti size.
Just open up.
It's the only size you can get that. You can only get Duke.
That's the bonanza part. It's my favorite.
That's the bonanza. That's the bonanza, baby.
Don't throw baby on the end. That's creepy. That's so wrong. That's bonanza. Baby. No. No. I won't take it. Theo, what's up? How you doing?
Not much. I'm just got back from work. So
Yeah, that sucks.
I was trying to get on the Wi-Fi real quick. See what's up.
Oh. IQ, can you ask the question one more time? We'll let Theo chime in.
Yes. What is the? Oh, now I got to remember it like word for word. Like, what is the fundamental cause of racism and systemic racism? What is that? Where does that divide ultimately begin?
Where does it begin?
Yeah. What is the fundamental cause of racism and that form of tribalism?
I'm not really sure if I'd call it tribalism, but I'd say, you know, just this country has a very long history of it, and I mean it's here, it's omnipresent, you know, it's built. This country was built on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're, you know, people, I mean, it's what it runs on. It's what this country runs on, you know.
America runs on Duncan and racism.
I agree.
Can I add one
would it
point?
be fair? Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
No, like you go ahead.
Somebody fucking go ahead. Stop being
Okay,
Canadian.
I'll say it. All right, would it be
Goddamn
fair?
Canadians,
my
stop being so
my
fucking
bad.
polite.
Everybody.
That's Duke keeping it real.
I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. My whole thing froze for a second there.
Oh, I was like, motherfucker!
I
If you
wanted
are
to
one
know
more ounce of polite, I will kick you out
whole
of
like
here.
previous conversation about like the origin, like what the slave racism come from. Nobody mentioned slavery in that whole. I would just like to point out that that's probably a pretty big fucking factor in terms of
that was an effect
slavery
of this racism. Is that, you know, there's a book, I can't remember the author's name, but it's called Guns, Germs, and Steel. It really
that
illustrates.
guy. No, guns. No, I know that book. That guy is trash.
That guy is trash, but just the point that's made up on
Not
how
all his stuff is some goofy ass colonialism apologist like nonsense.
And I agree with that. Here's something that you really need to know about me. Like,
because the same guy tries to act like slavery wasn't like an economic factor in the creation of this country when that's just like patently not true.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you there. There's a quote from Bruce Lee that I have the 3 pillars of that really kind of support my entire philosophy in life, and this is one of them. It is absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, add what is uniquely your own. So I don't care, like, you know, I am an atheist. I do not believe in God. I will listen to an atheist. I will listen to a Christian. If somebody, I don't care what their other beliefs are, if they have something that I can gather, even if where I take it isn't exactly what they're talking about, if it inspires some sort of wisdom in my head, if I can pull something from it, I'm going to use that knowledge and I'm going to use that inspiration. So, like, just keeping my ears open and listening to anybody and not really trying at least my best to discard any biases in my head on whether or not I should agree with somebody, and just listen to what they have to say and just take it from there. That's why I referenced that book, and I totally agree with you on a lot of his shit is colonialism, like apologetics. But just if you look at the base of how civilization has came up, and when it comes to technologies and biological resistances, and how certain cultures have came out on top, just specifically solely due to they just happened to advance in certain technologies that gave them an edge over different cultures. And that doesn't make them better. They had an advantage. You know, it's like almost evolution put in a cultural stance. It's just they had an advantage over somebody else.
That's a very like
Western
centric, borderline chauvinist like view of history. Like actual colonialism, like the history did not actually go down like that. This focus on like history as a straight line that develops as technology develops is turns out is not exactly true. Like that's not actually how that works. And you know, in more recent decades, like a lot of, you know, once you started seeing more work from anthropologists who, you know, weren't white men, you started seeing more theories that countered that old assumption that like, oh well, the you know, the Indians got sick before the you know, the Spaniards got here, and you know gunpowder was developed here, and you know that it was just a clash of like bad luck for this group when this other group showed up. Like, nah, that's not actually how those exchanges happened, and none of that stuff is actually linear.
I agree with you there. It's kind of hard to describe in a dozen breaths how history actually does go down, and you know, I'm with you on the history books. At least what I've experienced and what I've been taught growing up weren't entirely or even mostly, and in some situations even partially accurate to what is actually gone down.
Just to quickly step in here, when you were talking about the indigenous Americans, I was taught when I was at school that there was the genocide coming from like the smallpox infested blankets that were handed out to them with the intent of killing them. Now, I've spoken to a few Americans that are of a similar age to me, and they were never taught that. Is that the case with you guys?
I think some of that.
I wasn't taught that in school.
Right.
I wasn't taught that in school. I found that out after the fact.
Yeah, there's no course in school, American history classes that give you the specifics on those events. They might mention it if the teacher, you know, is hip to it or wants the students to know. You find out most of it on the side, doing your own research and, you know, just wanting to know.
Yeah, but that being said, if the teacher's hip to the knowledge and shares it, there's also a chance that teacher gets fucking in trouble for sharing it.
And especially what school system you're working for, and yes, totally. Kids will tell their parents go and complain to the principal, and the next thing you know, the teacher's fired because she's trying to teach actual history because it's not in the curriculum.
Yeah, no, there's a hardcore slant towards false history taught to kids in the States. It's to the point where it would be funny if it weren't so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Well,
it would be funny in a kind of ironic way if it weren't so fucking sad.
Yeah.
The thing that's making me cringe so hard about hearing this is we were taught the part that we played in the UK in causing a lot of the hurt and harm that we are still facing today. We relatively own our mistakes. In America, it seems like they want to brush it under the rug and forget about it, and even misrepresent it entirely, especially in the southern states with slavery and the Civil War.
Yeah,
I mean, I heard that all the stories of how the Civil War wasn't about slavery; it was about economic and states' rights. And when you dig down and you take them down the rabbit hole, it's like, okay, state rights to do what? To drive their own economy. Okay, what is their economy based on? Corn and molasses. Okay, how do you stay competitive in that market at that time? Oh, you have slaves, so you'd have to pay wages. So it was about slavery then, you dumb fuck. And they still wouldn't admit it. Sorry, yes, I've carried on.
For the key to understanding how Americans learn certain subjects is to understand that it's company driven and it's regionally different. You get the textbook from McGraw-Hill, you may get one from Pearson, you may get it all depends on who your school board is supporting textbook wise and curriculum wise. So let's say, one textbook is pushing a narrative that lessens certain impacts on certain historical events. There's probably a reason there as to why the school board went with that certain curriculum. In terms of
I suppose that's the difference. I suppose that's the difference again. Even a lot of the private schools held to the same curriculum. They, relatively speaking, the same books, no matter who prints it, it's all got the same information. And
I think it's historically proven that. I think it's historically proven that the American educational system is shite.
Yeah,
it's shit. They basically teach you a bunch of stuff that's not true, and then you spend 10 years unlearning all the things that they taught you.
You gotta unlearn all the shit.
Well, I think it's a little more sinister than that. I think that there's a whole industry.
It has become more sinister because I grew up I think I'm one of the last few that actually had professors that gave a shit about what you were going to go out and do in the world. You don't see much of that anymore. You just see, shortcuts on how to learn stuff instead of memorizing stuff, instead of actually, here, read this biography, learn about how things actually work. That's missing from today. I see it missing from seeing the youth and how they come home with their homework, how they come home with their experience at school. I'm like, all right, something's wrong here. And then when you start looking at their homework, you're like, what the hell is this? What? You go to the parent-teacher meetings, and even the teachers have a problem explaining it. Now, I have to say this. When I graduated from high school, got into college, it was nothing but a disappointment. I walked into college thinking I was going to have this great experience where I was going to, be surrounded by intellectuals, and instead I was thrown into the wolves to say, well, if you want to continue, keep paying us, but you're going to have to teach yourself moving forward. It was a big disappointment, and that is happening now in the lower grades.
That's the basis for most of the American education system, though. Mm-hmm. It's we're going to give you a very small amount of knowledge. Mm-hmm. If you can thrive on that, then if you're thriving on that very small bit of knowledge, we're going to move you to a different sector of schools.
We don't want you influencing
and we're
going to
give you actual information. Mm-hmm. And then, the people that are still struggling, there is an industry, there are numerous industries in place to get them, if they want to know more, you hit a paywall and you have to hire a tutor. You have to, there are all these different industries in place for the parents to pay into to fill those gaps.
Hey guys, I don't have anything more to say about anything we're saying, but I have to jump out of here because I have to go listen to Aphex Twin and think about death. So you guys have a great night.
Sounds like a plan, dude.
Typical Thursday.
I love every one of you. We'll get together again hopefully soon. Have a great night.
Right back at you, dude, man. Stay safe, man.
Take care, dude.
Duke, whilst you're thinking of death, he's gone.
Good to see you, man.
It's too late. He's already dead. He's already gone.
I still love the Mark Twain quote about death. I do not fear death. I've been dead for millions and millions of years. Why would I fear going back to that state? Or words to that effect.
We don't die, we multiply.
Baby's kids.
Stay alive.
Making peace with death is one of the best ways to enrich your life.
Oh shit! Someone brought up Mark Twain and somebody quoted Baby's kids. I'm fucking sleep over here. This shit is fun. Yo, y'all are some nasty motherfuckers talking about babies. We don't die, we multiply. Fuck is you saying right now? I love it. Shit is off the wall perfect.
You know, I've been looking at the game. Why do you keep going to the same spot? You keep dying in the same spot.
It's a small map, dude. Like there is nowhere to go.
There's stairs here and there. Like you can't go up those stairs.
No, you can't go anywhere. Like it's small on purpose. It's a bloodbath. Like I can't like it goes to this wall, and then to the left of me that far, and then like there's an opposite corner. That's as big as this place is. Like,
oh, no wonder.
The map's name's called Fish in a Bucket. I mean, what do you expect?
That's what I'm saying. This is fucking Fish in a Bucket 2020.
Nice. That's amazing.
Bucket fish.
Yeah, bucket fish. That's great.
Yeah, see, there is nowhere else to go.
I gotcha.
They make you fight. And I like that shit.
Yeah, so I was looking at certain spots. I'm like, why is he just like keeps going?
Oh man, because they keep coming up behind me, bro. I gotta fucking just wait. Chill in the cup for a minute. I'm throwing bricks and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
It's hilarious. I remember when I first tried doing this. I think it was Halo, and I got online. I was excited. I was seconds, and I just kept getting shot, and all you would hear is some little kid just like
some little squeaker. That's what we call him, a little squeaker of it. Man, shut up, bitch. You don't even work. Like you gotta hit them with real world fucking insults because they're fucking 13 and they're fucking dog walking your ass like, hey yo bitch, that's why your mom about to leave your daddy. Probably because of you and your fucking learning disability. He's like, oh man, that was probably too far.
Yeah. You get angry, man. They make you angry. I mean, you little fucker.
Yo, quit shooting me, B. You cheating, motherfucker. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That like, and apparently, this guy told to me another from work story. Call of Duty, Apex Legends. I don't know if Fortnite did it, but there was a bunch of these big gaming platforms that came out with pro social justice like banners that showed up as soon as you logged in.
That's hilarious.
And they would be like, "Yo, Black Lives Matter. Please refer to these resources if you guys want to learn more about these things." Just like a general, just kind of.
Oh, okay. I see.
We said something.
Okay.
Which is fine, but apparently, it sparked a whole new wave of like those same little idiot kids who fucking shoot the shit out of you and start giggling.
Yeah.
A lot of them little motherfuckers is racist as shit. So that. Because they put up the Black Lives Matter post on the game itself, the racism online went buck wild to the point where they overloaded all of the servers that were responsible for accepting the reports of racism.
Right.
So much to the point that they had to just get rid of the button. Because there's so backlogged, there's just no point of having the button up right now.
Yeah.
So whenever motherfuckers look at me and say, "Oh, America's not racist," go play Call of Duty online with your fucking mic in for about 20 minutes and tell me otherwise.
Yeah. I'm actually a little more of embarrassed to see like, wow, was I really that like blind to it? That's where I've ended up. I'm getting over that feeling, but that definitely hit me hard when I started seeing it to the point where it's at right now. It's just.
Oh shit! I've just seen a new definition on what is it? Whatever it is, called pulling a Shapiro.
Oh, what is?
It's when you are so wrong that in order for someone to correct you, they would have to teach you what equates to several entry-level college classes, ultimately making correcting you more trouble than it's worth. Example, person 1, we can't have Medicare for all because then doctors will make less money, and if doctors make less money, nobody will want to be a doctor anymore. America will run out of doctors and we will all die. That is why insulin needs to be 10 times more expensive in America than every other country. Person 2, I would correct you, but you're just pulling a Shapiro, and I don't have 3 hours to spend doing so.
Yeah.
Person 1, aha, you didn't correct me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you got nothing.
That is.
So you got nothing,
freaking amazing.
That's why there are certain topics I will no longer argue with people about. I'll just let them be wrong. Maybe somebody else has the time and the energy and the patience, but I got to take care of my mental health. I have my own struggles that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I can't let my shit get fucking blown up out of proportion because motherfuckers being stupid. That's not my fault. That's their fault.
Exactly, man. You want to be stupid? Go ahead, enjoy it.
It seems like the people who want to be stupid are lining up, and there's just not enough people out there to take care of it. Like customer service sucks for them.
Yeah. Well, it's literally like minds. You know, it's like we won't associate with them. Okay, we might interact, but we won't associate the way we are here because we don't think alike. It's just not gonna. It's not gonna happen. It just doesn't work that way.
And I've gotten an invitation to people's shows like, oh, you're so funny, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm funny to motherfuckers I respect. But if you on some other shit,
yeah, you're done.
I'm not showing up for that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna shuck and jive for your ass. If I don't vibe with the way that you the way that you're putting shit down, you can forget you even know I exist. I'm a nobody. Yeah. Keep thinking of me as nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a channel.
Real
podcast. Internet.
Cool.
Snake.
Okay. Get off the phone.
What do I do?
Where's your phone?
That sounds like a phone buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him.
For anybody on wireless.
No.
Message.
Real quick, Theo. Shoot.
Hey, so
pleasure to meet you. I am in love with your work. Amazing work. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Theo is the real deal.
Yeah.
Which one? I'm trying to figure out which box.
I followed you on Instagram.
Easium is talking to you. That's Easium.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. I started following you, and I really enjoy your work.
Thanks. I've been working.
Good. Keep it up.
Theo did all the artwork for the bin.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, post her link on. Everybody should check it out.
Their link. Pronouns are important. You didn't do it on purpose. We're on the same team.
My link.
Theo's Instagram.
And they're selling prints now too.
Yeah,
so if y'all want to buy prints of their work, give them some of that money.
Gonna get that
Their stuff's really good.
Hey, gonna say that money. Hey, gonna get that money. That's my Lil Dicky's Save That Money is like my favorite video in the last 20 years. I'm gonna say it. Y'all can be mad, y'all can disagree, but you're wrong. It's the best video ever.
Nice.
Kevin Durant's in it. Greatest basketball player ever. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that today. I'm not doing that today.
Match.
I usually like to stir the pot a little bit, but goddamn, I ain't ready for that one. I could argue it, but I don't really want to defend it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that guy that has to stand there and say it. Someone could say it.
Especially when we all know it, Bugs Bunny is the best basketball player.
Yeah, that's why he had to recruit. That's why he had to recruit Michael Jordan, right? Shut up.
No, he just needed to fill out the numbers. He was just a token minority.
Yo, what's his face? What's that big red monster that's all hair? They didn't give him no minutes. They could have put his ass in there if Jordan didn't matter. Gossamer, that's his name. And that's a fun fact from Looney Tunes land. That big red monster that wore sneakers in the Marvin the Martian cartoons, his name is Gossamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know that.
I was thinking of his interactions with like Bugs Bunny.
They could have got that Yeti who fucking call him George.
Yeah, or Gossamer. That was the red hairy thing that.
Yeah.
It's just the shoes left.
Yeah, but did Bugs Bunny call him out of retirement? No.
No.
He called MJ.
MJ, right? Wait, aren't they working on part 2?
Yeah, LeBron,
right? Oh, I just saw.
And that like after Kobe passed, I had to drop all of my NBA beefs because it kind of puts shit in perspective with me, and I don't really want to be hating on motherfuckers that I'm gonna be fucking weepy and teary and on a stream fucking bawling my eyes out about. And I didn't mean to be such a dickhead because it was just let me just cut myself off at the jump. Like, let me just stop talking like that. No more hate for basketball players. I love all y'all. I hope all y'all win.
Yeah, I've never had hate on basketball players. I didn't at first. I did not understand Kobe's situation until I saw him step up and he was like, "Yeah, I had sex with her, I didn't rape her." I was like, "My man." I was like, "You were a fucking adult." I was like, I was rare, and that earned my respect from him. As far as a player, I didn't see the big hype until I started watching him earn those points, and I was like, "Okay, now I see what the big deal is."
He didn't get no calls back then because it was like that transition from the old school to the new school. And they was roughing Kobe little ass up.
Yeah, because they were waiting for Mike. They were like, "Where's the next Mike?" Everybody, he set a standard, and everybody's waiting for that next Michael Jordan. Listen, there's no other Michael Jordan. There's just not going to be one. There's going to be better versions or different types, but there's no other Michael Jordan. And they put that on Kobe, and I think that was unfair.
Yeah. And it's just like when Zion Williams came out, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna be the next this. He's gonna be the next this." And well, when y'all do that to these fucking kids, they're never going to be able to live up to that. They just have to write their own chapter in the history books, and we have to take that for what it is.
Yeah,
which is cool by me.
Yeah. I prefer that. Come on, individual. Have some individuality. Be creative. Find your own, skills. They have them. It's not just about jumping and flying in the air the way he did.
But he was about to be the next fucking Sean Kemp, Charles Barkley. Just saying.
Yeah, he was.
We'll see how it plays out. And now that everyone's eyes have completely glossed over, because we started talking about the NBA, which they're big fans of apparently. Hockey. No, I'm just playing.
Hacky. This isn't hacky. I played some roller hacky growing up, and that was as far as I went. I do like hockey.
Since we got a good break in the conversation, does everybody want to go around the horn, talk to the people, tell them where they can find you, what you're up to, any links coming out, all that good shit, and I can put it in the chat. Pine Snake, and then go clockwise.
Okay. Find me on Twitter at nogod_pinesnake. Generally putting bigoted pieces of shit in the place if I can help it. Video coming out on Saturday where we'll take a look at, me and Mrs. Snarky take a look at biblical gender roles and their views on forced marriage in the Bible. Spoiler alert, men have no choice. Channel's just at Pine Snake. So IQ.
I don't really sell shill. I'm on Twitter. Inquisitive Quad 1. You'll find me in like pretty much any YouTube chat as a moderator. It's what I do. I don't have a channel really. I help other people out. I send out links, and I cool people off because it's it was needed.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Randolph Richardson.
I'm Randolph Richardson. I'm the founding president of the Canadian Atheists, and we're starting a new program called True North Talk, which you can access at youtube.truenorthtalk.ca. You can type that into your browser and find our YouTube channel. And we have one of the best producers, Mikey.
Oh,
Famine.
Shit. That's me.
Yeah, and Inquisitive Pondry is going to be making sure the chat's going well. We've got top-rate people involved. Neil and I will be co-hosting and taking live calls. It'll be similar to other programs like the Atheist Experience that have a great reputation already. If you want to find out more about the Canadian Atheists, you can certainly look into our website at www.canadianatheists.ca. You can also reach me on Twitter at Randolph828, and that's Randolph spelled with an F. Thanks for having me on the show here.
Not a
don't put that PH on the Randolph.
Man, you want to talk about trying to find Randolph just by just typing it how I assumed it would be? Hours. Hours. And the only reason I found him and then the link to him was because somebody spelled his name wrong.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to get you Randolph with a F and a PH and just have it like forwarded to the F.
I do that with my email already.
Yes, it's exactly. You already know.
For this exact reason.
We're not perfect, man. We're not perfect. Kay,
It's life.
you want to tell us about anything you got going on and where people can get a hold of you?
Oh yeah, I got nothing. K underscore.
I got nothing.
Dylan.
You got something.
Drop the
K
Twitter.
underscore K underscore whiplash on Twitter, but mostly I just retweet Theo's artwork, so and yell at libertarians.
K underscore whiplash. Okay, I will put that in the chat. Go ahead, talk to him, Theo. Don't be bashful, or else I'll interject. Better talk that shit.
And I'm Theo Third Eye. I'm the visual artist of the group, along with Ease. Ease is dope. Check out his shit. But yeah, my Instagram is Third Eye Theory. That's AYE Theory, not EYE.
Third A.
Facebook is 3 the Third. And
what's the
website is 3thethird.com.
3 the Third. Can I spell third? I can't. There we go. 3thethird.com.
Got it.
I was like,
yep.
3 the Thrid. No, that don't look right.
Yeah, that's me.
As long as you didn't put a U in there.
Yeah, don't do that.
3 the Turd. No.
No.
Damn it.
That's not exactly where I was going with that, but I mean,
I don't think the H should be silent in that case.
Freetheturd.com. That's a different website. Don't go to that.
I'm gonna have to buy a whole new domain now.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So yes. I wasn't quite ending the stream, but I just wanted to make sure before we forgot. Oh, ease. My bad. Go ahead.
You good. Yeah, I'm still working on getting myself into a bigger project, but yeah, you can catch all my work on @Easism at Instagram. I post all my artwork there, and if you wanna see how brutal I am with how I think about the world, follow me on Twitter @EasismWorks. Yeah. Other than that, chilling.
Yeah, Theo, I gotta talk to you about a project.
Like right now? Or?
No. We'll talk
later.
After.
I got you.
Get with me after this. It's gonna be. It shall be nice. There was something else I was gonna bring up, because we were talking about it too. Fuck.
But whilst you're thinking of that, IQ, do you actually have time for your own channel with all the work that you put in?
What's that?
With all the work that you put in for other channels, do you actually have any time to do one of your own?
Nope. And everything that I do, I operate off of a cell phone. I don't even have a computer. And I'm always working, so I don't have shit for time to deal with my own content. I saw a gap in communication. Remember, you've heard the phrase criminally undersubscribed. Go check this person out. There's a problem there. That means that we're not talking to each other. So I get into chats, I post links, I get people talking to each other, I get people introduced. Because that's a community, man. Like, we need to be able to communicate with each other and know who everybody is. So you've got resources here and there and everywhere. Everybody, you got a guy that's, got a degree in biology. Oh, boom, 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 boom. I've got almost 250 people in my shill library of different content creators that, I have all of their links. Yeah. All Patreons, buy me a coffees, fucking Instagrams, just fucking anything that is on them. I just access it real quick. Boom. you need to know something about somebody who's in the Muslim community or is anti-Muslim or ex-Muslim. I've got a list of people that I can just pop and just bring up real quick. Here, check these people out. Resources. Let's all get talking to each other. And there was a gap there. I filled that. And, that's my contribution. And I'm not going to waste time making some shitty-ass videos on a cell phone, nonetheless, where there's just too many people already making videos and we're not talking to each other. So let's get connected. And I'm going to be that connection.
Do you cross-reference your list with Randolph's?
No, actually, we've spoken on it a few times, but we pretty much meet the same people.
And what Inquisitive Quandary is doing is a lot more extensive and more specialized in resources. What I do on the Atheist Frontier, I know that's what you're referring to, is basically just mainly focusing on people's YouTube channels. So the scope is kind of limited, but then I expand on putting in descriptions of what those channels are. So my effort, we have over 180 YouTube channels listed there now, and what I'm doing there is trying to promote all these different YouTube channels of atheists, and my goal is to work impartially on that. There are people in there, a few who I don't get along with, but I leave them there. It's not a problem because the spirit of it is to be helpful and open and impartial resource.
Yeah, the reason why I suggested cross-referencing each other's work is because people like Non-Stamp Collector, who were big, but then haven't done anything for a few years, they could fall through the cracks and be missed off one or the other list.
I'm not going to. I don't have any intention of taking people off the list. The ones I'd take off the list would be the ones that their YouTube channels permanently shut down. If it's temporarily down, I leave it up. And there's.
No, don't mean it like that, Randolph. I mean, say for example, IQ has only been in the community doing this for 2 years. But Non-Stamp Collector stopped making regular content 4 years ago. But you had your list going for 10 years. Chances are it will be on your list, but not on IQ's. And it's a good channel like that are a good point of reference to go for a take on this chapter in numbers.
Yeah. And I do regularly add people to it. It's as I encounter more and more. So Mikey's in there, Inquisitive Quandary's in there, Easium's in there. I think you're in there, and yeah.
I average probably about 3 or 4 a week that get added to my list.
Yeah, and I'm open to adding more. It's fairly easy. I just take the icon right off of YouTube that they have, and I use that. So
yeah,
good times. Well,
I've gotten good at finding out everything about everybody.
I hope that the community that the bin provides and its adjacent friends makes it one that, and we kind of ended the actual show with this, is that it's one where we can have healthy debate, we can have a lot of laughs, we can rip on each other, no one gets in their feelings about it, no one's super disrespectful to anybody, but more importantly, you're able to say you don't know, and that be an answer. And you're able to say that I was wrong.
Amen.
Yep.
And saying I don't know or I was wrong is not a means for disqualifying somebody from any further conversation.
Right.
Cheers to that.
You know what? I'll raise a drink to that. Thank you everybody for joining the Bin After Show episode 34. 34.
Right.
I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much. We're gonna go into an after show, because after the party is the hotel lobby, and that's where we're going to. It's hotel lobby time.
Oh no!
Oh yes!
Are you up for being the next Tony Stark or something?
I don't know, but
Iron Man 2.
I don't know. You're ruining my toast now. So please, if you want to help support the show, patreon.com/thebinpodcast. I love you guys. I will see you guys next